who speaks Spanish.
You don't either?
No, I'm learning.
Again,
Dabble.
so they understand what I'm saying.
Yes, makes sense.
No, it's
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of the Virginia Credit Union, I'm Andy, and I would love to welcome you to a wonderful discussion this morning. We're joined by Barry from the Better Business Bureau, as well as Gladys from the CPA firm.
Spanish Connection.
Spanish Connection. Thank you so much, Gladys. And it is such an honor to be joined with these experts. We're going to learn some invaluable information this morning. So glad you could be with us.
Thank you so much, Andy, and I'm glad to see you in person.
Yes,
We've been talking
such a treat.
over the phone, and thank you very for this time for you guys and for taking the time to present this important event for my community. I'm very grateful that you take the time because Hispanic people always asking where can they get some help. We actually have an attorney come into our office sometimes because we couldn't answer all the legal questions what they have. I do accounting, I do counseling, I do child care sometimes. We do everything. Whenever they come to the office, we try to guide them everywhere we can. And we are so happy that you guys helping the community actually. Y una vez más, como le quiero decir, esta entidad está ayudando a nuestra comunidad que son víctimas de fraude y de todo tipo de abuso. El tema aquí es que cómo podemos evitar eso y cómo podemos ayudar a nuestra comunidad en caso de que, por ejemplo, aquí tenemos, quiero agradecer a toda la gente presente que está aquí. Thank you so much for coming and thank you for being part of this event. And una vez más quiero decir que toda nuestra comunidad a veces es víctima de todo tipo de abuso, tanto que un contratista puede hacer un trabajo, no le pagan, no sabe dónde acudir. Y lo importante que es el BBB, de cómo ser certificados y cómo trabajar con negocios que están certificados y cómo acudir a hacer una denuncia, cómo ellos tienen contacto con el gobierno federal para poder evitar ese tipo de abuso a nuestra comunidad. Obviamente, si se quiere parar, señora Olga, la señora Olga que estará encargada de la parte hispana, que el señor Barry acaba de contratar, que va a estar ayudando a los clientes hispanos, de habla hispana.
Very good. Well, welcome, and Andy and Virginia Credit Union is excited to have you partner with Spanish Connection. The Virginia Credit Union is an accredited business. You can find them at bbb.org, and they are an accredited business. They serve on our board of directors. Andy's one of our board of directors, so she's my boss in so many different ways. So welcome, and so is Gladys because she's accredited, and the list goes on. Our team works for you in the community. I give credit to Virginia Credit Union. They are in the entire Commonwealth. They have places all over, and they really want to get into this marketplace. So probably looking to recruit people to work with them and to help in this area. So if you know anybody, we'll get you the information at a later time. And Richmond Times Dispatch, thank you for their partnership and sponsorship. They can be found at richmond.com. If you don't read the newspaper, you can follow them online at richmond.com. So thanks, Andy, for joining us. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Make my exit.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll move the chair. Look at that. The benefit of wheels. Okay.
Okay.
Phone's off. Very good. So I'd like to, do you want to talk a little bit more about your company and why you're here? Why you asked? This is Gladys' idea. Spanish Connection.
Como le estaba comentando al principio, mi oficina a veces es consejería, todo tipo de servicio. Yo soy una contadora registrada que lo que hago es la parte contable, solo tengo conocimientos de contabilidad, pero en estos 20 años que llevo haciendo este trabajo he conocido a mucha gente como Barry, como Olga y como gente que quiere ser parte como Andy, que quiere ser parte de la comunidad y apoyarnos. Ella está representando a Virginia Credit Union, como la escucharon, que por ejemplo ella lo que va a hacer es tratar de colaborar en la parte financiera bancaria con toda la comunidad. Si ustedes tienen alguna ayuda, can we share the information later on, you know, the phone numbers, in
Yes.
case they want to ask questions about how to become members.
Absolutely. Probably the website would be the best.
The website, okay. En la página,
BACU.org.
okay. En la página web de ellos pueden comunicarse y tratar de informarse mejor con todos los servicios de préstamos, todo lo que es la parte bancaria. Y una vez más, ustedes ya me conocen, hace 20 años que sirvo a la comunidad hispana, ya creo que me conocen muy bien y que estamos con Spanish Connection. Vamos a cumplir en septiembre 20 años de servicio a la comunidad.
Very good. So the first thing I'd like to start out and explain what the Better Business Bureau is, who we are. So we started in 1912, so that means we're 110 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, and we are in Canada and Mexico. We are a nonprofit, and we are not, like I always said, we are not a government agency. So we can never force, if you have a complaint, we can't make the other side do it. See their company profile, if they have complaints, they'd be written there. And the main thing we want to see is that you respond. That's what we care about. We start with trust. We want a marketplace that starts with trust, with integrity, respect, mutual agreement to communicate. But really what we want to do, and we're going to talk more about it, is BBB.org. We can't say it enough times. Stop the scams, stop the fraud, do business with companies that you might find information at BBB.org and go in it with your eyes open. And don't find out later that you made a serious error, because nobody can make people give your money back, especially if they're not in this country and they were somewhere else and they hit you with a scam online. That's the big problem.
Bueno, la importancia que está diciendo Barry es que una compañía puede ayudar, o sea, esta institución puede ayudar a una compañía que solo esté registrado con ellos. Si no están registrados y hacen negocios y alguien les hizo un fraude, es muy difícil para esta entidad poder revisar el profile o la historia de la compañía porque no están registrados. O sea que lo importante es que cada compañía haga negocios que tiene sus estándares para ser socios o miembros de esta institución, que son estándares de ética, de profesionalismo, y obviamente que estudian su negocio antes de ser miembro de esta institución.
Very good. So I think the topics that we mutually agreed that we should share in a short period of time to open up other conversations later. The one is, why would a Hispanic-owned company, a company that speaks Spanish, or whatever that means, what does it look like, and why should they want to become accredited? And what is the benefit? And since you're in accredited business, maybe you can help explain that and what you saw in the advantage. But again, the main thing is, is this seal. Spanish Connection has this. Atlas Ventures is in the room here, Rui Moda. He has this seal. He has a call center, marketing company, various things he offers our community. Virginia Credit Union has that seal. So if you can maybe talk about that. Why should your clients, or any business, some of the folks in the room here or online, are trying to learn what we can offer them?
Por ejemplo, lo que él está diciendo es, el señor Barry, cuál es la importancia de ser un negocio acreditado por el BBB. Obviamente que ellos estudian la persona, el negocio y el historial de negocios. También lo importante es cuando va a pedir trabajo a una compañía que está acreditada. La importancia, en mi experiencia, para ser miembro tuve que esperar, para ser parte de acreditación tuve que esperar un periodo para que ellos estudien si realmente soy quien soy y soy realmente la persona que estoy diciendo, porque cualquier persona puede decir soy una persona confiable, soy una persona respetable, pero de ahí a que vean su historial, no, o sea, tiene que compararse si realmente es cierto lo que una persona dice de su negocio o de su persona. Y además ellos tienen una serie de beneficios, por ejemplo, cómo contactar clientes, cómo I explained in the website. Actually, you can offer your services to other clients, to other businesses who can actually offer different services to different market.
Yeah, there's a coupon that'll be on your profile page, and every business gets a profile page. So an important thing for any business owner to know, we do not sell your data. We do not gather data and then sell it. We are, again, non-profit. The other companies out there that have review sites and gather data, or maybe host websites or provide references or scores, they do sell data. As we know, they are for profit. So as much as you send to your website and all that data is gathered, somebody can resell that IP address or that interest. If you're looking for a moving company, you can then, all of a sudden in social media, you could be hit with 3 different moving companies, and you say, how do they know I'm moving? Why do they know I'm looking for a moving quote? Because the data was sold, and that's what happens.
Yes, we do have a lot that in our community. We have the IRS calling every day to people's houses.
The biggest thing
and getting money from them.
Yes, I'm sure the IRS is probably calling people and offering them 50,000 US dollars, but they need a deposit for some reason of 5,000. They want you to give them 5,000, and they want you to give them a gift card, not a cash or money. They want a gift card. The reason is, once you give that gift card, you'll never meet those people. They're not even in the 50 states here. Chances are they're somewhere else around the world. And this is a big business. It's tax-free. Banks are being affected by it. Insurance companies, scams and fraud are very bad. And the Better Business Bureau, that's our job. So companies that don't think they should be accredited, the more businesses that become accredited, every company should be accredited, in my opinion. It's not about the money. We're a nonprofit. It's about us having a bigger footprint and talking to our community to keep us safe. And we just, if you can help explain this, we don't care who you are, what language you speak, what color you are, male or female, we do not care. For the Better Business Bureau, we have a form, you get vetted, and that's all we care about. So discriminatory, equality, and all that, it all exists. It's just getting a company to be BBB accredited, live up to that obligation, and treat everybody with, like you're saying, respect. And that's it. We can take away all the talking points, all the political points, and just do business with people we like and local.
And that's true. Our community always suffer from not speaking the language, first of all, and they can't find anybody. Sometimes their kids cannot translate for them properly, or the person, I mean, we can, like I say, my office sometimes is like a, solving problem, nothing to do with accounting, but sometimes we're trying to find some help for them. Like 2 weeks ago, we had a client who came and paid $6,000 to the IRS over the phone. Of course, it was a scam. And I feel so bad for the guy, because he called the IRS and I say, why are you getting the bill back? And the IRS called me. The IRS never called to anybody. They communicate through letters. So he paid $6,000 and he lost the money. And he don't know where to go, what to do. He got the phone. And also Latino Network, Dish, or some other institution to scam people. That's what we're trying to, avoid for the community. Por eso puso esta entidad a la señora Olga, que está al servicio de todos los clientes hispanos que puedan hacer una denuncia o puedan encontrar ayuda con ella para poder comunicarse con esa entidad y tratar de evitar ese tipo de fraudes.
Very good. So I wasn't going to talk really about some of this, but you brought up the $6,000. So maybe this is here's an example. I have a person that called in. They've got a moving quote. They lived in Chesterfield, and the moving company quoted them $7,000 to move them from Chesterfield to Florida. Her husband was very ill. The woman took care of everything. Before they left the lady's driveway in Chesterfield, she owed them $14,000. When they got the furniture down to Florida and it took an extra couple weeks, they couldn't tell her where the furniture was. It cost her a total of $21,000. And if she didn't pay, she wouldn't have gotten her items. And it was in the contract. When we found out who the companies were that she went through, we did look them up. They were not BBB accredited. They did not have this. And they had an F rating. And they had other scams out there like this that people have reported. So if the lady would have just taken the extra 5 minutes to go to bbb.org, she might be sitting with a much different situation. And what it did, more importantly, forget the money, it hurt her personally. And now she's an elderly lady that doesn't trust, she'll never trust again. And that's sad.
Now that you mentioned it, the dating sites too, they want to meet the person paying
Yes.
the flight tickets and everything. Es muy importante también no dar dinero en avanzado. Por favor, chequeen si van a hacer algún tipo de negocio, si van a enviar dinero, si qué compañía es. Llamen aquí con la señora Olga o con esta institución si pueden hacer eso. No tengan miedo, no tengan vergüenza. Sucede. Todos entendemos los casos de toda la gente.
So we're going to take questions and answers right at the end of this so people can chat in if there's any questions. But I'm going to ask you a question real quick, maybe ask the audience. What is the #1 holiday for the biggest amount of scams in a calendar year? If you could ask your audience and they can chat in too.
¿Cuál es el día festivo más grande en donde se hacen todo tipo de fraude?
So they could chat in, right? And we can see what they say. But now I'll ask you, do you know what it is? What would you guess?
I don't.
What's the #1 holiday for scams?
I don't.
You don't know. You almost hit on it. It is Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day?
Just to your point with the affairs. Everybody falls in love and they're lonely. And it starts months ahead. And that big payment might start with $3,000 to get the person here, another $5,000, and then it's about $20,000.
Wow.
And that person, Mr. or Mrs. Right, never shows up, unfortunately. So Bitcoin or cryptocurrency was a big one. Job applications, and that leads us into this. Bad employment decisions. So you see online, one of the job sites, job open, and you love that job. That job is made for you. And you apply. The job, and they hire you, matter of fact, pretty quickly. They might hire you without an in-person interview, because you are so good. And then they send you the startup documents. And what's in the startup documents as an accountant? What would the documents, what would you
All your
need?
personal information, social security's address, name, full name, your date of birth, phone number, all the information.
And
They
you
need
show up.
Every single,
You are the
detail.
happiest person in the world. You tell your family, you're proud. You show up the next day at that company because you know who the company is. And guess what? They don't know you. You applied to a fake ad. So they took all the information before you know it. Your information is already out there in the dark market out there somewhere being hijacked. So that's bad. So this conversation, I've known you for 10, 12 years now. I think you've always been the same person. You're honest, you're straightforward. You care about not just your community, you care about all communities. You come on with the community. And that's why I enjoyed getting to know you. And then when I got this job, and then you told me, you and Duke came here and we talked about a story about a woman
Oh, yes,
that
the
took a
painter.
job, a painter, and she worked hard.
Yes, and she didn't get paid. And she lost almost $28,000. She hired some people, so they did the work, they did the painting work, they came, I think it was like a school. She hired a lawyer also, but I think in the contract said, she signed without reading the contract. Ella firmó el contrato sin leerlo. Lo que sí que la señora perdió $28,000 y nunca le pagaron. Ella tuvo que pagarle a sus empleados, a sus trabajadores, y ese dinero nunca lo recuperó. So she lost the money. And,
Yeah. So if we could prevent that, if she's a 1099 worker or whatever, subcontractor, she should, again, we're gonna keep going back to this,
Yes.
all the employees, before taking a job, before going on the interview, go to bbb.org, see if the company has this seal. There's a lot of great companies out there that maybe don't have this seal, but you really don't know. At least as straightforward as possible, as much information that can be gathered, we can gather on these companies. And it's at bbb.org, and that's who we are, and that's what we stand for. Again, we're a nonprofit, we are not the government.
Yes. You're not the government, but you can lead some, scammers to the government.
Yes,
That's
we
a good
do.
thing. You have your straight connections to send all those scammers to
Yes.
where they're supposed to be. So, what lo que yo quiero decir, la importancia que es tener información de cada compañía que ustedes van a hacer un trabajo o de la compañía que van a servir. Ustedes personalmente pueden irse a la página web del BBB e informarse de toda o sea, dar más claridad a lo que es la compañía o cómo funciona, cómo trabaja. Si alguna vez tuvieron alguna experiencia negativa de no haber pagado a sus trabajadores o no haber pagado a la gente que contrataron. Eso es mi recomendación y lo que está diciendo el señor Berry también, que el sello es muy importante fijarse si ellos están acreditados, porque para estar acreditados tienen que pasar por un proceso y llenar los estándares que ellos piden.
And what we're gonna do, our commitment here at our office locally, again, we're all over the country, but right here locally, because of your connection with us and your enthusiasm and how you wanna protect our community in this market, and it could be other languages other than just Spanish, but we're starting with Olga on our team. She's learning it as fast as possible, but we're working with team members that have been here for years, decade or two, and she will get the tutoring and the help, and she will learn very fast. And if we have to add another 1 or 2 people to take care of that marketplace, we will. And there could be other languages also that we need to grow with, and our community changes, the country has changed over decades, and we're trying to change also, and that is our commitment. We don't want to, again, we treat everybody the same. We don't care who you are, what language you speak. Our brand is our brand, it's international, and we are the place to check out before you go to work and before you do business with people. And if you want to get vetted with us, you do an application in up to 37 areas. We make sure Deepwater, if you need to have a license, that you have a license. If you need that insurance, you have insurance. And we will monitor that for decades to come as long as you're accredited with us. So our goal is to see our community thrive, and there's nothing else. And no other reason why we come to work. We work for the consumer, we work for our accredited business. That's what we do, and we count on that. So do we want to grow the accredited business list more and more? Of course, right?
Yes, and it's interesting that the Hispanic business can become members as long as they,
Yes.
actually fulfill the standards, and they can actually, like you mentioned before, the seal is important.
Yes.
En lo más importante, como está diciendo el señor, es también que puedan ustedes acceder a los beneficios que ellos ofrecen, como por ejemplo, ellos van a tener we still get in the people, okay. Vamos a tener una reunión con el departamento ocupacional que también va a ayudar mucho a la comunidad. Ellos quieren acercarse también a la comunidad hispana para que puedan tener acceso a los exámenes, tener más accesibilidad a las reglas, a las normas, y también vamos a estar en un evento con ellos que va a ser en el mes de May, el mes de mayo, que vamos a tener con ellos un evento también que la comunidad puede participar.
And that'll be here at our location,
Y va a ser
and
aquí.
stream live on ABC, on their social media on Channel 8.
En
We'll be
Canadá.
streaming there, so that they'll see it there also, and we do Facebook Live. That'll be here. The way to communicate with the Better Business Bureau is we have something called Scan Tracker. you can help explain that, but the way a consumer finds that, and it can be a business owner, because a business can get scammed by another business. I hear that a lot. So just because you're a business, but did you do business with a company that has this seal, or did you forget your own rules and who you are, and you go outside the network? It happens every day. And that's my job, not me personally, but our job as a brand to remind people to do business with other companies. If I'm an accredited business, which, we can't be accredited, we are the BBB, but anybody I do business with, for the most part, I make sure they're accredited with the BBB, or I will not do business with them. Why would I break my own golden rule? Why would I do that? And this seal can be in Spanish also. Every other assets we have can be in Spanish. So Scam Tracker can be found at bbb.org, and that's where you don't put complaints there, but you gather, if you got if you send $20,000 for Mrs. Wright to come across the world, and you spent $20,000, or how about this scam? How about this? I was in Caroline County with the sheriff, and they were talking about it. Have you ever heard these calls? I'm a grandfather, let's say, I'm not, but let's say I was. I get a call, and they say, little Johnny is arrested. He was just in a bad car accident. He was DUI, he's arrested. I'm calling on I took his cell phone, they're cloning the number, and they're calling the grandfather saying, we need bail of $5,000 right now, where he's going in front of the magistrate. We can get him off at $5,000. I'm a grandfather. Again, I'm not really, but if I was, I'm old enough to be. But if I'm scared for my grandchild, and I've got the money, and I say, let me talk to little Johnny, and they say, no, he's in jail. We cannot get him on the phone. We need money wired, or however they do it. And we need it right now, the $5,000. And what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do it. And this happens daily, happens locally in our 42 county area. The sheriff's departments tell us the scam. So you wanna report that to bbb.org, because you know what? Little Johnny was never arrested to begin with, and he didn't drink, and he didn't drive. But before the $5,000, before they hang up, they call me back, and they say, Grandpa, we need another $3,000.
Oh, wow.
And now I'm in an $8,000 loss. Little Johnny never was in jail. Little Johnny never drank. He never had DUI, but I'm out $8,000. So that kind of a scam happens every day. How do you protect yourself? How do you report that? You go to bbb.org, a button called Scam Tracker. Amazon and Capital One. Capital One's headquartered right here. They're an accredited business. Have spent a lot of extra money donating it, making a donation to Scam Tracker to build that platform better for all consumers in our country. And FBI, different agencies are waiting to read those scams. They gather the data. The more they get input, the better chances they are to solve the mystery, if you will.
Lo que está explicando es que normalmente las personas adultas son víctimas de abuso y de, ¿cómo diría? En la parte de que se hacen personalizar por sus familiares queridos o por un nieto. Por ejemplo, un adulto de la tercera edad que recibe una llamada de un nieto que está en la cárcel y que le piden $5,000 para que puedan sacarlo de la prisión. Y la persona no sabe enviar dinero, o normalmente lo que pasa es que se hacen pasar o roban el número telefónico de la persona, y lo que hacen es tratar de conseguir dinero de esa persona, y la persona desesperada envía el dinero, y cuando envía dicen que necesitan más y más. Lo importante es que pueden reportar en la página o llamar directamente aquí para poder reportar ese tipo, o investigar primero antes de hacer cualquier envío de dinero.
So I am pretty much covered all I could cover about the BBB. What else would you like to talk to? These are your clients, this is your network. I would love to be part of it. And I always talk about this story with you with, how did we meet? With our friend Raul.
Raul Cantu.
Nacho Mamas. And now he's not here anymore, but that's how we met. And through so many organizations, you're involved in the community in so many ways. Was there anything else you want to share with us?
Well, I would like to invite to be part of the BBB. so we can all enjoy the benefit and actually get to know each other, who can be members and who can, get more out there, not just, get in just our community. They have more help, not in just the Hispanic community, but they can get some help from Andy, from Rumi, from anybody. I mean, they trying to get people who speak the language. Tratan de, lo que quiero decirles es que se asocien a esta institución y podamos ayudarnos mutuamente para evitar todo tipo de fraude. Está Credit Union, que también le da la oportunidad de diferenciar los beneficios. También está el señor Rumi, que tiene un call center que él le puede ayudar en varios tipos de negocios, que sea, por ejemplo, si tienen un negocio que quieren contactar con sus clientes y todo, él le puede ayudar. También les quiero decir que personalmente, en mi opinión, que todos los negocios latinos serían bueno que sea parte del Better Business Bureau. So, para que puedan ustedes también gozar de todos los beneficios y poder localizar a todo tipo de staff.
And I look forward to doing an event at your office after April 15th.
Oh, 18.
18th? She said, I remember I said, bring it up. No, we can't do it until after that. So she said, a little too busy going on because you do taxes. So, and I would love to do Virginia Credit Union at one of your branches, an open house someday. I know we've done them in the past, and we have Shred Day. You can bring documents to Shred. We don't charge. April 29th. You can follow us on Facebook, the Better Business Bureau, or LinkedIn. Your page, you have Spanish. I just followed you today. Spanish.
Okay.
Spanish Connections, right, on Facebook. It's good to follow, and that's where we post out a lot of our dates. But I think the more we bring people together and have a community, I encourage you, I was showing you that this pin here is a company, and you can't see it, it's a group of women around the country. It's called Executive Women's International. There's no reason your clients in your community, because we're all in the same community, aren't members of this group. So if somebody wants to learn about that, it's a local group here, Executive Women's International. Some of the major companies in Virginia are members, and also small companies. So it's good. I encourage business owners to get involved in Rotary. It's probably not known. If you just came here 5-10 years ago, you don't even know what Rotary is necessarily, even though it's international. Some people have never been exposed to it. So the more you get involved, the more networking you build up, can become accredited, and just help this community rise so that we don't leave anybody behind, and help people find jobs and all that. It'd be wonderful.
Nice.
So, I don't know if we have any questions to answer from the audience.
Do we have any questions?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, we answered everything. We did good.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to cover? And we appreciate it, the time.
Okay,
And we'll
thank
make
you
this
very-
video available.
Oh,
and
yes.
Send it out.
We can share with Andy and everybody else, and every single
Very
client we have,
Everybody, yes.
everybody, so they know about it.
Very good. Any questions from the folks that are here?
¿Alguna pregunta si tienen?
Yo estaba preguntando si solamente es por la parte de los negocios y qué pasa con los health insurance. A veces hay personas mayores que ya fueron a un hospital, tienen un bill de $5,000 y su aseguranza va a pagarlo, está en proceso, pero el hospital manda un bill grande y la persona no quiere ir a colección, porque rápido mandan a colección los hospitales, y una persona adulta lo paga el bill, pero siempre su seguro va a cubrir ese bill. Entonces, ¿quién se queda con ese dinero? No entiendo. Es como un scam también en la parte de la medicina.
Sí.
¿Cómo le van a regresar el dinero? Si es una persona muy adulta y ya dice, yo no quiero colección para no arruinar mi crédito, pero voy a pagar, pero él sabe que su seguro está en proceso para cancelarlo también. Y hay personas, conoce clínicas, que reciben dobles pagos. El pago que tú hiciste y el pago que también tu seguro va a pagar.
What she's talking about is for the health insurance. Whenever the senior citizens get a bill from the hospitals and the insurance is in process to pay, but the person don't want to go to collection and they pay for, so they don't go to collection and the hospital got paid from the insurance, in a certain time, and from the consumer, so that's what she's asking for, how they report that,
Yeah, that would be,
because they never get the money back.
yeah, probably the state, our Commonwealth has a health department, so to find that out, how to let them know, I could find that out for you, I don't know who to contact. That is something you could put, that's not really a scam, that is a complaint. You could enter it and you do it in writing with us, so the person would put in writing a complaint about the hospital. The hospital may not be accredited, they can be, but they might not see the value. There are some companies that just don't want to, they're arrogant, or they don't see the need of what we do, right? And, but they do have a choice. Doctors have a choice to be accredited. Virginia Urology is accredited. The dentist, Baxter Perkinson is a big firm now, dentists, they're accredited. So they take the time, so there you can make a complaint and it would go right on their profile page. They would have to respond to the complaint. And again, if they owed you money back, a hospital should have to respond the same way. The problem is the hospital's overwhelmed and there's so much coming at them, but the state, the Commonwealth has the health department and people in place to handle some of this stuff. So we would have to let you know that. But first we get the complaint, and
Yeah,
then we can respond.
because some people don't know how
Correct.
to make, what is the right phone number to do the complaint. And they say, oh yeah, I just paid. And they
Right.
don't receive the money back.
When you pay a big organization like that, you're not gonna get the money back, right? They're never gonna respond. They're in the business of collecting, never giving back, unfortunately. But I think it goes back to our point, how to make this community safer, better, and working together. Is everybody talking the same language? Not to be certain, we all speak the same language: trust, morals, ethics, respect. And pushing restaurants, pushing hospitals to consider becoming accredited. When you go there, say, are you accredited? I don't think you are. Now, you can't make a decision when you're in an ambulance, going to a hospital. You can't say, are you accredited? No, don't take me there. You gotta go, right? But other than that, we as consumers, forget that we're business owners in here, okay, or whoever we are, we're all consumers. This is our world, this is our community. And it's our job to put this, not complain about the steak was rare, I want a free meal, but something like this is a real problem, right? You have a real issue. Politicians are not going to respond. That's not why they run for office. So the political system, and we're not political, we're not lobbyists. The chambers of commerce are wonderful to be members of, but they help, I'm not sure, they build the community, businesses, they do education. But our brand helps each consumer. If we all, for the next 90 days, if I could get 42 counties to only do business with BBB accredited companies, we could change our community that fast. And then it would go nationwide. The problem is if I start today, we gotta go 90 days without going to a restaurant or anywhere without saying, or go to a credit union, or go to a bank, or go to an accountant and see that they're not accredited, saying, I'm not gonna do business with you because I wanna check you out. I want the BBB to check you out. I want you to be part of our community. We have that power. But the problem is, we start today, in 3 days, we show up at a restaurant, who cares? I like their pizza, I'm gonna get a pizza, right? And they're not accredited, and we start all over again, 90 days. But it is 2023, we have social media, we are sharing the word. There is no more, we don't wanna have victims out there. We don't want people not to know. That's what our job is. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I know you have a valid point. And it's sad that that's still happening. Now tomorrow, by the way, those are online, and tomorrow we have Medicare. That's a whole nother area. We'll be here at 9 o'clock in the morning. We have a company explaining what Medicare benefits are available. You know, the more I find out, people 64, 65 years old, 70 years old don't even know what they're qualified for. Do you know if you've been incarcerated and you get out, who's going to tell you what you're entitled to? Nobody. They don't care. Nobody. There's no support system there. That's why I'm doing this event tomorrow about Medicare, just to share it. And the Medicare benefits are very good, but we just got to know about it. So imagine if you speak Spanish or Russian or Italian, and you're from Portugal, and you're, you know, whatever you're doing, and you don't understand what Medicare offers. That's unfortunate, right? So we got to help because you're entitled. But people, going back to the lady that was a painter that got ripped off, she did business probably with a bad person, and I don't know her status or their employee status, but maybe she was afraid to make a big deal of that money being owed to her. But in our government, in our country, there are laws. People got to get paid. If you do a service, you got to get paid. But who's going to tell people that don't speak English that? We are. Olga is. Gladys is. So me, not so much. I don't speak Spanish.
Well, I think
Okay.
we, you know.
You did good.
Yeah,
Very good.
we got 15
Great
minutes
question.
for more questions, if somebody wants to ask more questions or.
Or we can sign off. We got donuts and coffee.
Oh, yeah.
And the people in Facebook Live, they don't get anything.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
no, oh, wow. We got coffee and donuts.
Thank you to the credit union for
Thank you.
sponsoring all that.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.